Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to do your January 2016 mid-month readings. I continue to use the Gilded Tarot deck, and even though this reading focuses more on the last half of the month than the month in general, I am still going to be using the same 8-card spread so as to give as in-depth a look as possible at what the remainder of the month may be bringing us. For those of you who are interested in personal readings, you can click on the About button on my channel's homepage, and this will give you a little more detail about myself, the services I offer, and my contact information. You can email me at Maggie, the number 1, McGuire@gmail.com. These are general readings, so if they do not apply or resonate the same for everyone who watches them, and they won't, I suggest you also check your rising and your moon sign as well. And a special thank you, as always, to those of you who have allowed me to do personal readings for you so far. You've been keeping me very busy, and it's been an honor and a pleasure to read for each and every one of you. I won't forget either yourselves or your stories, so thank you very much for that. And thank you so much for those of you who continue to watch and follow and listen and subscribe to my channel. Your feedback and your comments have, in the greater part, been quite positive, so thank you very much. And just a little heads up, I am offering yearly overviews and outlooks for 2016 in the form of 60 and 90-minute readings. So if you're interested in those, again, you can email me at Maggie, the number 1, McGuire@gmail.com, or you can get the same information by clicking on the About sign, the About button on my channel's homepage. So let's get right into this reading. This is for Pisces for January 2016, mid-month. Pisces, the watery fish. What does the remainder of January 2016 look like for my elusive Pisces? Pisces, show me Pisces, January 2016, mid-month. Pisces, January 2016, mid-month. One more shuffle. Okay. We begin with the Empress card, followed by the Nine of Wands, the Queen of Wands, followed by the Seven of Swords, the Ace of Cups, followed by the King of Cups, the Page of Wands, followed by the Death card, and as your overall theme or general advice for the month, I pull a card from the bottom of the deck, and you have the Fool card. Well, right off the bat, I can tell you that this reading actually resembles Cancers quite a bit. So perhaps there's something astrologically up with the water signs. I often see connections in the elemental signs of the zodiac when doing readings. Last month it was the fire signs. So let's put this together. Well, it looks like it's all about struggling for creative breakthroughs this month and falling in love. So let's begin. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3 major arcana cards. So we begin with one of them. We begin with the Empress card, which is a beautiful card to get. The epitome of the mother figure, very nurturing, very loving. This could also represent some of the words associated with this card are fertility and abundance and prosperity. So some of you may be finding yourself in the family way if you are interested in adding children to your family life. But for others of you, this simply points to being in a place where you feel very abundant, very fertile. This is strongly points to creativity and inspiration and creative pursuits and projects as well. Now, it's paired with the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands, Wands is a suit, the element being that of fire and air, and Wands is a suit that points toward movement, change, action, power. And this card on its own in the upright position represents taking a pause from a battle of some kind, a pause without surrender. It represents a man who has suffered or is experiencing a temporary setback, a temporary defeat of some kind, and he's taking a step back, a time out, a reprieve to reconsider and re-strategize and figure out what went wrong and gain a different perspective and perhaps a different strategy before he goes back into the fray, as it were. This speaks of, again, very strongly, a pause without surrender because this man is not yet finished. He is going back into whatever it is he is tackling or the challenge that he is dealing with. And I feel like compared with the Empress for this month, Pisces, particularly around the remainder of January 2016, it feels like there's a struggle going on of some kind. You're struggling to reach a breakthrough of some kind that has something to do with creative inspiration, some kind of creative thing. For those of you who are actually in the middle of creative projects or in a career that's considered one of the creative arts, if you're a painter or a musician or a writer of some kind, this can represent, or you're just in you're in the career field or in the middle of a project that involves creation of some kind, that you're struggling to have a breakthrough with something, that you feel like you've hit a wall where you're stuck and you can't quite figure out how to move through something or get through something. You've hit an impasse or a wall, and it feels like there's a kind of a creative struggle trying to break through something, not quite being able to get that inspirational thought or sentence or whatever it is that you need to move through the next level of this project or situation, or it could for some of you represent a relationship, but I feel like it's more project oriented. If you own your own business or it's an entrepreneurial sort of thing, I feel like perhaps maybe around the middle of this month, January, even the second week of January for some of you, you're just in the middle of a struggle right now for a breakthrough is struggling to come through. And the feeling that I'm getting with this combination of cards is that one of the reasons you're having such a struggle right at this moment is because you're actually on the threshold of something that if you persevere and you keep you keep at it, having the faith that you're going to succeed, you will. It feels like you're struggling right now because you're just on the verge of having whatever it is, this breakthrough that you need. Um, the piece of advice that would go along with the Nine of Wands would be to uh, perhaps you may want to take a look at it from a different perspective and re-strategize and figure out maybe how to approach it from a different way before going back in. Now remember the pause without surrender. This is a combination of cards that speaks to whatever it is you're struggling to have a breakthrough in right now, to keep at it, to persevere, but maybe take a step back and look at it from a different sort of way and perhaps think in a different sort of way. And go back and tackle it again because you will be successful if you persevere. So that's interesting. Now that is followed by the Queen of Wands with the Seven of Swords, and I actually think this is just an echoing of the message of the previous coupling of cards. The Queen of Wands is an individual who is very creative and very inspired. This is someone who if one thing isn't working one way, then she will take another look, shift her perspective a bit, and tackle it in a different way. This is an individual who is very self-assured and very confident, and regardless of what's going on around her, this is somebody who has the ability to be very creative in the way that she looks at things and to think outside the box and to shift gears quite quickly if she needs to. This is somebody who takes no prisoners as well, so to speak, not in a negative way, but the personality of the Queen of Wands, although this doesn't necessarily have to mean a woman, this could be a man just as easily, although the energy is quite feminine. This is somebody who definitely marches to the tune of her own drum and has her own way of doing things and isn't often prone to doing things from other people's ways if she feels like hers is the best way. This is somebody for whom independence and self-authenticity is very important. Now it's paired with the Seven of Swords, which is sometimes I've heard referred to as the thievery card, but not all has negative connotations here because the thief card is not necessarily a negative thing either. We all sometimes have to be either a little sneaky or a little not that I'm promoting deceit necessarily, but sometimes we have to be very creative in how we go about approaching things or finding things out. This card represents someone who has gone into someone's home and taken most, not all, but most of the swords and is kind of making away with them. And he's looking over his shoulder with kind of a smirky look on his face as if to say, look what I'm getting away with. Now, this can actually represent, with negative connotations, it can represent someone actually taking something from you. This card can have a slippery, sneaky feel to it, and it can also point to deceit and things being hidden and of secrecy. But the feeling that I'm getting and combined with the Queen of Wands is that it's just echoing actually the message of the Empress and the Nine of Wands. That whatever this rather significant struggle it is that you're having, this challenge that you're facing with trying to have some kind of a breakthrough with something, I think just like the message of the Nine of Wands, that this combination of cards, Cancer, for around the mid-month of January 2016, is advising you to take a step back and to be a little more clever about how you're going about doing this. That, like the Queen of Wands and the Seven of Swords character, that you perhaps switch your perspective, be a little more clever, and think a little more outside the box in terms of how to approach this thing, and maybe approach it from a completely different perspective, or one that's not quite so visible or transparent as perhaps you may have been doing. I don't know why I'm saying that, it's got to resonate with somebody. So that's kind of interesting. It looks like cleverness and a shift of perspective is what's going to bring about this creative breakthrough. Um, Now we're followed by the Ace of Cups, along with the King of Cups. Now, I'm not sure if this is for those of you for whom are struggling for this creative breakthrough or not, or for a completely different group of Cancers who are watching this. But here we shift over into the realm of love. We have the Ace of Cups, cups the element being that of water, and cups is a suit that points to love, emotions, relationship. It's an emotional suit and points to our emotions and our emotional landscape. And aces represent new beginnings and new seeds and the promise of great potential. Now, seeds, of course, still have to be planted and nurtured and watered and nourished along until things can come to fruition. But aces represent the potential for beautiful and new growth, and the Ace of Cups would represent a new opportunity in love, specifically pointing to falling in love or the beginnings of love. So it looks, Cancer, as if somewhere around the mid to the end of the month of January 2016, someone is going to be presenting you with an opportunity for love, or that you're going to meet someone and begin that wonderful process of love. This represents the beginning when everything is kind of fresh and new and exciting, and holds kind of limitless potential for that. So how beautiful. Now it is paired with the King of Cups, which I believe is specifically relating to the person that is going to be offering you his cup of love or her cup of love. Um, and what a wonderful person to have court you. The King of Cups, kings being some people who have reached the mastery of their suit, this one being that of emotion. So the King of Cups would point to an individual who has reached a point in their life where they're very emotionally in touch and emotionally grounded with themselves, very emotionally intuitive people, and somebody who is very loving and very nurturing and very open and able to express himself that way, but still be very grounded about how they go about doing it. This is someone who would be a more mature, reflective individual, and someone who would romance you or court you in some very loving and romantic ways, but still on the mature and reflective side. This could represent someone who's perhaps maybe a little bit older than you. Cups being a water sign, this could also represent the person being a water sign, which would be like you, Cancer, or Pisces, or Scorpio. Sorry, I know this video is for Pisces, not for Cancer, but you're a water sign as well, Pisces. So it could be somebody who's a Cancer Pisces or Scorpio. And if I have referred to Cancer, forgive me. I do mean this video and this card layout to be for Pisces, but I just finished Cancer, so sometimes the words get a little mixed up. So, or this could be somebody who is coming to you or that you meet who manifests the same trait as a water sign would. Um, so how beautiful that is, and it looks like the opportunity for a lovely new beginning in love. So good for you, Pisces. That's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Now, the last coupling of cards we have is the Page of Wands, followed by the Death card. Now, the Page of Wands, again, Wands is a suit that points to change, action, power, movement. And the Page of Wands, pages can represent young people or actual children in your lives, and they also represent messages. And it's most often how I see pages, and it's kind of how I see this as well, although which is a similarity in the reading for Cancer as well. Your guys' readings were very similar to each other, even in placement of cards. The Page of Wands could represent also that this King of Cups individual who is that you meet or that's coming into your life and beginning to romance you or court you or offer you their cup of love. This could also be a child they have in their life that kind of comes as a package deal, as it were. And this could just represent children also being a very positive and uplifting effect in the beginnings of this relationship too. I think though for the majority, the larger portion of you, that this is going to represent being brought an actual message. And I think that whatever this new beginning in love is, or an emotionality, and again, for those of you for whom this doesn't resonate as a romantic sort of love, this could be just a continuation of this creative process or endeavor that you're struggling to have a breakthrough with, and you do have a breakthrough with it. And this King of Cups could be an individual that has a significant impact in what and how that breakthrough comes. But for the large portion of you, I think it actually relates to a romantic love interest, and that the Page of Wands is bringing you a message about that somehow. And it feels very passionate and very fiery and very inspiring, and kind of shakes you up quite a bit. It has a very exciting, youthful, vibrant, enthusiastic sort of feel about it. Now, it's paired with the Death card, which is the transformation card, and it's also the transition card. And I think that this directly speaks to that what is actually being brought to you in the form of this offering, this beautiful new beginnings of love and of love and of emotionality, is the death actually of your loneliness and the death of being in a place where you feel like you're alone and struggling. I think that at or towards the end of the month, and perhaps going into the beginning of February as well, that and for some of you, this could, that for whom the love portion doesn't, you don't relate to, but this is also about this creative breakthrough that you do end up having. You get some kind of message, some kind of inspiration about it that transforms the way that you're looking at it and the way that you're going about it, and you do have this creative breakthrough, and it's very transformative in the way in that it's actually a rebirth, the death of something old and the rebirth, because death represents the ending of something, the culmination of something, the end of a cycle. And I think that the transformation that is beginning for you is going to be quite inspiring, quite creative, and quite wonderful. And I think for some of you, it's just going to relate entirely to this creative process. And for others of you, it's going to be part of this process also with falling in love and having these wonderful new opportunities. So it's going to resonate differently depending on which group of Pisces you are watching this. And again, forgive me if I referred to Cancer at all through this, as I just finished the Cancer reading, and I feel like I might have stuck the name in here somewhere, but this reading is definitively for Pisces. Now, the card that you have as your overall theme and general feeling advice for the month is actually the same as Cancer's, and I shuffle these cards very thoroughly, but it's beautiful. It is the Fool card, another major arcana card, and one of my favorite in the deck. And this represents the zero, the beginning of the beginning, finding yourself at a place, Pisces, at the end of the month, or it's kind of the feeling overall where absolutely anything and everything is possible. It looks like you're going to be struggling, but you're going to end up having some major creative breakthroughs in whatever it is that you're in the middle of now, whether it's an entrepreneurial business, a project, an artistic endeavor of some kind, and along with this wonderful new promise and offering of love, whether it's romantic love or just related to this creative pursuit itself. But this represents being at the beginning of the adventure. The fool is jauntily setting off on his adventure, dancing along, balancing and juggling different things. He's not at all concerned with the destination or even probably whether he's packed enough shoes and socks for the journey. He is just living completely in the moment and enjoying every step and every moment of it with childlike enthusiasm, youthful enthusiasm, very much like a child is how I'm getting. Not immature necessarily, but just the advice of this card, where it to come with advice, would be to appreciate every moment as it comes and every step of this journey and this creative endeavor, including the challenge that you're going through, because it looks like you're right on the threshold of something, of some kind of breakthrough, a creative, inspirational breakthrough. And it's representing the ending of something, the beginning, rebirth. There's just a whole thread of lovely new beginnings and anything being possible in this reading. So how wonderful, Pisces. How happy I am to bring such a reading to you. I look forward to seeing how this plays out for you in February of 2016. I hope it's resonated for you, or at least given you some insight and clarity as to what may be coming up for you for the remainder of January. And if you'd like a continuation of this reading, or you'd like to book a personal reading with me, just click on the About button on my channel's homepage, or email me at Maggie, the number one, McGuire at gmail.com. And until I see you again, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Thanks for watching, Pisces, and I'll see you later. Bye.